now we'll be getting into a little segment we like to call Player Pass. Because
Play
Tooth,
pass. We like
we
to
like
play games.
we like playing video games here at Mustache Ride.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
couldn't tell already, and because we like to play video games, we like to spin our great wheel of games
Great wheel of games.
every episode, so that we can find a game that Tooth and I haven't played, and then we play it in between episodes. We come back the following episode and have a fun discussion about that game.
Mm-hmm.
And last episode, we spun a game called Forgotten Dreams.
Yeah, we did. Developed
Mm-hmm.
by Hyper Studio. Pretty new. Just came out in November 1st, 2024.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's a game.
It's a game, man.
I'll read you the description. I don't think you're gonna get the vibe from it, but I'll do it anyway. The best dreams are to be forgotten, kind of like this game, for they will destroy if not. A strange and abstract first-person game that explores the
mean.
forgotten. Navigate through maps and environments while completing objectives critical for survival.
High level overview, top down look at the game. Basically, you're really confused at first,
Yes.
and then slowly you understand what this game wants you to do, but it takes too long, and then you're not sure if you're doing it right, and you don't really get any confirmation on if you've done anything right or if you're done with the thing that you thought you should do. So basically, you go to bed. You go to
Yes.
sleep.
Yes.
Well, you look under the bed first. There's nothing there ever.
No, there isn't. Anyway, I don't know why
You
it's
look
an
under the
option.
bed though, you must. And then you go to bed, you go to sleep, and then you wake up in this like back rooms
Yeah,
looking ass place.
liminal
I guess
space.
yeah.
It's just like, yeah.
It's like a office. There's like a little jungle. There's like there's a bunch of big books kind of in the ground.
Kitchen,
Um,
random room with like RGB, which is kind of cool. That's
And-
kind of cool.
And so you walk around, and occasionally there's this invisible guy that like walks up on you,
Yes.
and you got to shoot him with your tripod flashlight gun.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, so you got this weird looking gun, and it shows you the direction you're looking and your speed that your character's walking. Did you
Is
clock
that what that is?
That's what that number is. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that doesn't make any sense.
Why? Why even bother?
I thought it was like
Oh.
a reading or something of like where the good stuff is.
So, look, let's back it up real quick. 'Cause
Okay,
I have a clip
Okay.
that kind of encompasses where you are at the beginning of the game mentally.
Mhm.
What if I don't want a hint? Whoa. What's going on here? What? What's going on here? I don't know what I'm looking at. This must be what I forgot. Yes.
Yep.
So that's kind of like how it feels to play this game. You're just kind of like, what?
Yeah.
So that's fun.
I think like starting out in the game, like just like backing up for a second, you start out in this random room before you're going to bed,
Yeah.
and it doesn't make any sense. Like you start out and you're like, oh, this game's gonna be good. And then you leave that and you never enter that type of space or feeling ever again. And I'll play a clip of what my experience was that I think encompasses the whole game too.
Okay. Good to have both perspectives.
Not really sure what the objective is. Not sure it really told us. That's pretty much my whole thing is I'm walking around looking at everything and I'm like, what is the objective? What am I supposed to be doing?
So, but it turns out what you're supposed to be doing is walking around and just poking at stuff, poking and trying to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like I had mentioned before, eventually you come across an invisible guy.
Yes.
There's an invisible guy that just is following you.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the footsteps and you're like, what is this? And then you see this weird outline of a guy, and then you shoot him with your tripod flashlight gun.
Yeah.
And I have a clip for that. My first time seeing and killing it.
The first one, okay.
Help me. Help me.
Oh, what?
Help me.
Are you okay? What happened?
Help me.
This game's fucked up.
My first encounter with that guy was like insane. Like I was not expecting it because I had encountered the other enemy first, which was some like plant person.
The jungle,
the
jungle enemy,
the jungle
the
enemy,
black string enemy. I don't know what to call it.
It's like a mosquito with a speaker on it. That's what it looks like when you start seeing it in the other rooms, at least.
Yeah, it looked like a mosquito with a piece of string on it, and it was like being flung at you. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll do my first encounter with that, and then the invisible guy.
Okay.
What's hitting me?
Help me.
That's what it's like walking. That's what it's like walking through the jungle. Is you're like, what? Like, what's going on? How do I get away from it?
I have a clip for that monster too, because the bait to get you to go to the monster is actually pretty good bait.
Oh, it is. It is because you're thinking, because it's just saying help me, and you're thinking the whole time. You're like, oh, this is the direction. This is the objective. Finally,
this is what I should be doing.
I have an objective.
I heard something. What the?
Please help me.
Oh. I'll try.
Help me.
I'm coming.
Please help me.
I'll try. What the fuck? What?
Help me.
What's happening?
Please help me.
What the heck, man? Something was hurting me. I want to help the person though.
Oh, you went back. You went back for
Oh
more.
yeah. Oh, I went back for more.
See, I immediately was like, oh, I'm not helping you. No way am I gonna go in there. You're crazy. And then I accidentally walked into the freaking thing, and that's when that was hitting me for the first encounter.
Yeah,
but the invisible guy though. So I wasn't expecting it.
It's a little spooky.
Oh god. What do I do? Did I kill it?
You teabagged it?
I thought I had to charge it up all the way, but no, the strat is just like blah 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 blah, shooting whatever it is. I don't know what.
I didn't even know you could charge it up until a while into it.
Yeah, it was just like a charge up thing. But man, the lack of just like understanding from the beginning of knowing what the game even is.
Yeah.
Wild.
But I think that's almost the point, because dreams are sometimes kind of incomprehensible. Like you don't know what's going on, you don't know where it's going to go. So I want to give it some benefit of the doubt in that regard. The sound design so far like does get me kind of on the edge of my seat a little bit. It's kind of wigs you out with the help me, and when the invisible guy comes near you, you can hear his footsteps, and then the static and stuff. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
In that regard, it gets me a little wigged out. But walking around for so long, running into that plant monster that hurts you, when you get hurt, you don't move as fast.
Yes.
your speed is cut down by a really significant amount.
Oh
So
my
you end up
God.
just crawling around this place.
Yes.
And then after a while, it says dream collapse imminent or something like that. It says like dream collapsing. And
Yes.
so basically it's an indication you need to go back to that bed and go to sleep. But I'm so far away from it. I'm lost. This clip I want you to play next is me finally about to be back at the bed, and then the dream is collapsing. And so like there's a barrier that comes in and goes toward the bed. I think it's supposed to push you toward the bed. I think.
Oh, that's
But
what that was.
but it glitched and I went through the barrier and then I couldn't get to the bed.
Yeah. Same thing.
Okay. Oh shit. What's going on? I'm too slow. I can't stop. No. Oh, it's pushing me. It's pushing me back to bed. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Oh, what the heck? Can I go in still? No, let me go back to bed.
Yep.
So I had to Alt F4 and close the game. So that was a bit of a bummer, but
Yeah.
whatever.
So I didn't know what that said. Like because it pops up on the screen, right? Dream collapsing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my clip here, and it's labeled I didn't know I was about to waste the next 2 hours.
Oh.
Dream, what does that say? I had no idea what it said until I talked to you, and then I went back to the bed and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Because you couldn't get
I couldn't get back to the bed,
mm-hmm.
and I had been playing for 2 hours like that. And when I mean I was playing for 2 hours like that, this is how I was playing for 2 hours, because one of the invisible guys glitched and I couldn't kill it. And so I was in bad shape. Oh, I see one. And I saw him from so far away. How do I kill it? That's so many shots.
Dude, I'm shooting you. Goodness. Just spam it like a shotgun. Finally. Oh God. Finally.
But this is what happened the rest of the game. Oh, I'm in bad shape. Maybe I have to shine the flashlight on it. It was just this like jerky movement. I mean, I played for an hour like that.
Why? Why didn't you reset?
Because I thought multiple times I would run into another one and I would just stand there and be like, okay, just kill me so I can get back to wherever I need to go. You never die. You just get slower and slower and slower, and it's awful. It's such an awful experience.
Yeah, so there were some aspects of this game that weren't so hot. Like the fact that you move slower as you take more damage is excruciating.
Yes.
But
there's bread. There's bread on the tables that you can eat.
Did you eat that?
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Oh.
It doesn't do anything at all. Maybe it should, but I don't know.
Speaking of the bread on the table, though, so eventually, I don't know if you made it this far or realized this, but there's like cubes that you find, and so you press E to interact on the cube, and it sends a bunch of particles going shooting toward the bed.
Mm-hmm.
That it indicates that you absorbed a dream, and so that means you go back to your bed and you go to sleep. when you go to sleep, it begins a dream puzzle, is what I call them. A dream puzzle. So
Oh.
you go to sleep within that, like that dream with the cube and the invisible guy and the plant monster. You go back to your bed and you go to sleep. You go into a dream from there, and it brings you into a dream puzzle. So if you want to pull up the first dream puzzle clip of mine.
Yeah. I didn't experience this.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Oh. Oh. It's like kitchen nightmares.
Oh my
Ooh,
god, I looked for
food.
this fucking food for so long.
Now you recognize that? Oh, I need like a.
No.
That's one of the
Danish for
breads
that
on the
spot.
table,
Oh.
but it was
found it.
missing.
This is the one I need.
Just a croissant
So dark.
on the table?
Nice.
So there were two tables with the red, the missing croissant, and so you had to keep like throwing the bread off of the counter, and it spawns more bread, and then you
Okay.
find another croissant, you take it to the other table, and then you know what happens?
What happens?
Absolutely fucking nothing. There's just no other tables that need croissants, and so you're like, okay. So I loaded my bed up with as much bread as I could put on it, just stacked it all on top, and then I went back to sleep. And I mean, it doesn't come with me. It's a dream,
Yeah.
but
That'd be cool if
just-
it did, though.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
But no, and then I went back to sleep and woke right back up in that same place with the invisible guy and the plant monster and the nonsensical.
Dang.
Yeah. So, but I was like, okay, that was one cube. Let's go find
Yeah.
another cube. And so I did a total of, I think, 3 different cubes.
Okay.
The best one of them all, they're all very simple. It's not like a real puzzle. Nothing happens when you solve the puzzle. But let's go to dream puzzle number 2.
Okay.
So I forget. I think I got this cube was in like the library area with the big books all over the place.
Yeah. I
and
found every
so-
cube, but
Yeah.
I didn't experience this.
Yep.
Whoa. I'm dreaming again.
Oh, wow. This is cool.
Oh. You can like control gravity
Like an IKEA
with
warehouse.
right click. Oh, and then you collect orbs. Going above. There's my bed.
Wow.
So there's like 4 or 5 orbs that you collect.
Yeah.
You collect them all, and then nothing happens. And so I just went back to bed. But I was like, that was cool and different.
When you went back to bed and you woke up, did it say like, did it have like the little saying?
It did say whatever what the stuff in the description.
Yeah.
said,
Forget the dreams, whatever.
forget the dreams, or let the dreams die, or so, I don't know. I forget. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
it said
okay.
that little quote, and then you wake up.
Yeah.
And then I went to the cube in the little foresty area, and then I went back to bed, and I woke up in this dream.
Forest cube. Whoa.
Okay.
What's going on over here? Another orb. I see another big orb. Let me go that way. Found another one. Oh, fuck. What the fuck was that? I don't like that.
So it's spooky forest at night.
Yep.
Go to different little structures, get the orbs. It's kind of a bigger open area, so I didn't even know if I had gotten all the orbs. But
Yeah.
what was cool about that one is that it was all nighttime, right? Kind of spooky.
Yeah.
And then the sun rose. The sun rose, and then it's like daytime, and you're like, okay, this is a lot more comfy. Walking around, get more orbs, and then the sun sets. A little spooky again.
Yeah.
There's like a day-night cycle with that dream. That was crazy. And then I came across my bed again. I was like, this might be the only time I ever find my bed again in this area. So I
Yeah.
just went back to sleep and made it back to the original area. But there is some dynamic stuff going on in this game. Kind of
Yeah,
cool.
when you figure it out. So that's the dream that I had.
Oh, so you did have a dream.
I did have a dream. That's the one that I had, this forest one specifically.
Okay.
But I did something totally different, like that I thought, and I don't know, I don't know what I did or if it mattered at all. But this was my experience when I thought I did it.
Okay.
I was so proud because I've made it to the bed, and I
You
was
made
like,
it back to the bed.
I did it. I made it to the bed. Anything happen? I was so surprised when finally
know.
something happened, and then I went around and collected the orbs. But the thing that I did was this. Oh yeah.
I found that too.
I went around and collected all of those.
There were more.
Yeah, there was tons of them. And so that's pretty much what I did when my screen was doing this for like 2 hours. I went around and did every single cube, and I did every single thing slowly like
Crazy.
this. And I never made it back to the bed because
so I
the
sent
dream
that
had
thing to
collapsed.
the nether realm
Mhm.
now.
And I was like, dude, you got to be kidding me. When you told me that, and then I finally made it back to the bed, and I couldn't wake up, like I couldn't do anything. I was like, I spent 2 hours. I hit every cube. I collected every box. I ate every piece of bread. I was like, I did all of the things. Let me
told
into
you,
this bed.
I told you I had to Alt F4.
I did.
You
That's what
expected
I
you
did.
wouldn't have to?
Yeah, I thought I was going to get back because I was like, I never had a dream collapse. And then I went back to cut the clips, and I was like, oh, that's because I didn't even know what it said because I wasn't paying attention.
Right.
Because I was looking
Yeah.
out for the invisible people. But I
So
did go around the forest. I collected all the orbs, and then I couldn't find the bed, and it was
Yeah.
like during night cycles, and the monster was trying to get me. So I did a grid pattern back and forth. Like I would run back and forth, and then
Did you find it?
I finally found the bed, and I was like, yes, yes. And then it played the message, and I was like, I beat the game. Crazy, I beat the game.
I beat the game. Yeah.
I beat the
Well,
game.
Look, this is definitely a small game made probably by a single person.
Yes.
And there's 3 reviews. It's not super well known. I think it's more of an experiment by just a creative dude or
Your dog
person.
doesn't even like it. Your dog hates the game. Don't try to talk it up. Your dog hates the game. I hear
My
it.
dog hates the game.
Your
My
dog hates the game.
But I still say pass on this game. Personally, I want to give it some benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
It's free anyway.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of time, honestly, especially if you get injured, and you're crawling around. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't recommend anybody play this game. But having played it, like, I don't regret playing it. I'm really glad I was able to eventually figure out that there's more to the game than
Yeah.
what you had experienced for 2 hours initially. Because that's I don't know, that
It was
sucks.
awful.
That'll
It was
really leave a
awful.
bad taste in your mouth, I imagine.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I'm also gonna say pass for this one. I will say that once I figured it out, it was fast because I was sprinting around, like I was blasting the monsters, like it was no problem. No problem. After I figured it out, I didn't know that I could have multiple dreams. I actually spent like at least an hour searching for that kitchen with something that I could interact with to get the food because it was one of the screenshots in the store page on
Yeah.
Steam, which is how I got any clues to how the game was played at all, is just
Right.
that. I get it. I get that it's supposed to be a pretty tough game. And it is to figure out. It's
guess.
not hard.
Tough to figure out.
Yeah, it's not hard once you get it. And that's what's so disappointing in my opinion is that you spend all this time trying to figure out just how to play the game, and then the puzzle is just collecting orbs or like placing bread. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. Like, after I had to run around and like murder a bunch of like free assets off of Unreal Engine to to get to that point. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not into that.
Well,
And
look, there could have been more to the game though. Like I spent
yes,
an hour and a half with the game. You spent like 3 hours because you didn't understand what to do, which is
yeah,
understandable.
yes,
But there could be more to the game if you go through each dream. You get each cube.
yeah,
There could be more to the game.
yeah,
So I don't want to just write it off, but at this point, I don't know what there could be as a payoff. I
yeah,
think the only thing that I want to know is at the very beginning of the game when you first boot it up, there's this robed figure
yeah.
through like
Which
a little window.
never comes back.
Yeah, and then they just kind of like,
Yeah, yeah.
slide backwards into the shadow, and then you're just like, that was weird. And then you turn and go to bed.
So do you
And then
think?
when you get into bed, you have the option to hide, like under the covers.
Yeah,
What's up with that?
I did it. It didn't do anything.
It didn't do any. What's the point of that?
Yeah,
There must be a reason for that.
there
So
has
like,
to
I
be.
want I want answers to these like loose threads that we have.
Yeah,
But overall, it's not really worth it to go and try to find it. So, but I would say to the developer of this game that there's potential there, especially in
yes,
like the sound
yes.
design and stuff. And I'd love to see more from this developer because I'd be down to try other games, other stuff they create. So yeah,
I was thinking about it, and like, it feels like to me that maybe the person is in like a mental health institution or something like that. That's what the robed figure is. They're hiding from it because there's some like thing, and you're like, the whole point is like the forgotten dreams. But I feel like if that is the case, and maybe it's not, and maybe I'm just reading into it, it would be cool to have a little bit of lore mixed in, like
yeah,
with some of the things, like, and maybe you learn a little bit more about the character that you're playing. And I don't know, like, the only the two monsters and you can't die also is like a weird thing to me. Like, I feel like you should be able to die in the dream, and like
yeah.
you wake up and then like something, I
Or
don't
you
know,
have to
something,
start over
you
or
start
something.
over, like something happens. There is something to it. I agree,
Not
the
to
sound
mention,
design's good. Like,
you put the tripod down. Did you ever press R and put the tripod down and it shows like the little screens from you never
no,
did that. So it doesn't matter because it doesn't help anything. But when you press H for hint and it
yeah,
shows you like those pages, well, when you press R and you put your gun down, it shows those pages, but it's still in an incomprehensible language. You
yeah.
don't know what the bars mean and what all the little symbols mean.
I wonder if there's a
And
way to decipher him somewhere, like near the lights or
another loose thread. I don't
yeah,
know. So I kept trying to read those big books, the spines of the big books, and
yeah,
try to read into like one's like ascent and one's like something about a garden. And I'm
yeah.
like, I wonder what these mean. But it doesn't, I don't think it means anything in
Probably
regard
doesn't
to
mean
the game.
anything. Yeah.
So anyway, all that's just to say, Forgotten Dreams, Mustache Ride, we pass on it. But I do want to see what other stuff this developer has up their sleeves. So
I'm not gonna lie, I said pass, but I might go back and play it to try to get to the other dreams.
okay.
But I'm still passing. Don't play it yet,
Okay.
but I'll play it because I have it installed.
I mean, it's free.
I
So,
bought it
like,
for free, so
you're only paying with your time.
yeah. It's not the worst free game I've played on Steam. I'll just say that.
Fair enough. And my GPU wasn't going crazy
No,
as far as I could tell.
it ran really well as a game.
So if it was mining crypto, it wasn't doing a good job. So
That's very true.
yeah. But yeah, okay, we pass on the game, but you know what time it is, Tooth.
Yeah, time to pick ananother one.
It's time for
For
the,
the
great wheel of games.
That was a lot better.
Yeah, well. That's the crowd. The crowd's going wild.
Yeah.
They want the great wheel of games because
Yeah.
it's looking pretty great.
It is.
Look at that. Look at that wheel.
Look at it. Look at
So
us.
every episode of Player Pass, we spin the great wheel of games to figure out what game we're going to play in between episodes and talk about next. But before we spin the wheel, we have to add to the wheel to make it greater. and we each have a game we're gonna bring to the wheel. What are you adding, Tooth?
So you made me play this game that we just played, which had 3 reviews on Steam. So I'm gonna add a game that has 3 reviews on Steam because I think that's only fair. And the game is called Zaru, Zaru. It's $3.99, which is
Zaru.
practically free. So Zaru, it's a it's a horror game. Like you have tools, you're trying to survive. It seems kind of cool, but maybe it's not.
Only 3 reviews, and it came out months ago.
Only 3
Cool.
reviews, October 14th. Yeah.
It already looks better than Forgotten Dreams. I'm not gonna lie. Just looking at the Steam page. Cool. Okay. I'm down.
Yeah. Looks good. What about you?
Zaru.
What are you gonna add?
I will be adding a game that is not so unknown,
Okay.
and it's called Strenova.
Strenova. Oh, I've
It's,
never even heard of it.
Yeah, you have, but you haven't played it. I know that.
No, I haven't played it.
No, I can't imagine you would. But it's an anime-style third-person tactical competitive shooter. So if we do roll this game, we'll play it together.
Yeah.
We'll play it together and be able to give some good thoughts on it. But it's interesting. The gimmick in this game is that it's like a 3D game, but you can go 2D and like run along a wall or in between a crack in the wall.
Yeah.
As like a 2D, like basically a slip of paper kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting twist. Cool gimmick. But I don't know. I saw this game initially and I was like, nah, I'm good. But as just an experiment to get an idea and see, is it okay? It has mostly positive reviews.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see if it's a game for us.
Yeah.
If we would like it. Because if you never play it, you never know. So some people seem to like it, but we'll see. Maybe if we roll Strenova, maybe we'll see if Mustache Ride likes it,
I watched about an hour worth of gameplay on it and I thought it looked pretty cool, but I agreed that it was like not cool enough for me to download. So
yeah. Well, too bad. It's
But
on the wheel.
Now I might have to download it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna spin that wheel.
Oh, cool.
Cocoon.
Cocoon.
Okay.
That's hype as hell, actually. That game is pretty highly regarded.
I think so.
Is that on Game Pass still?
I think it's on Game Pass. I hope it's still on Game Pass.
It is. Yes.
Okay. That was the reason I picked it. Cocoon.
Cocoon. People love Cocoon.
Yeah, I've heard it's really great.
It's by the same people that made Limbo and Inside too.
Yes, which is
those
a really
games are
great game.
amazing.
So this is a little bit of an older game, but one that we've never played on Game Pass, so you guys can play it too. And it also won the best debut indie game at the Game Awards.
Game Awards last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 So
cool. Cocoon.
Yeah, Cocoon.
Right on. Well, that's the game. That's the game we're gonna play for Player Pass, and that we'll be talking about next episode. So download it if you have Game Pass. Play it with us. Join the discussion in chat and live chat in the comments afterward, or wait for our discussion. See how we like the game, and look at some clips of ours, and maybe decide then if you want to buy the game, download it from Game Pass, whatever you're gonna do. And yeah, but we'd love to have you for next episode. Thanks for being here.